Sorry. I've thought about doing this in a video.
In this series, the side deck,
I just don't know if people want to watch this.
I want to cover Yu-Gi-Oh! Centric topics that interest me personally. Okay. That way you, yes, I'm talking about you, get the content that isn't manufactured by Mr. Algorithm, and I can express my purest thoughts on the game. Because after all, if it was algorithm, and I can
I'm looking at something
express my purest thought.
Worst Yu-Gi-Oh cards in LOB. I have thought about doing a series on the best sets. But chat, I think I've told you guys this before. Do you guys think that people generally gravitate towards negativity or positivity in entertainment, chat? Which one do you guys think? I'm not even talking about, like, no, his series is on the cards. Mine is on, like, the sets. Yeah, both. No. People generally gravitate, chat, towards negativity. That's the reason why channels like Drama Alert, you know, popped off so hard. It's because, you know, there's the Keemstar doesn't focus on, and this content creator just got married and they're living a happy life. Like, he obviously prioritizes drama, like beef, like, oh, XQC guy called the speed black guy speeder stupid, drama. You know what I mean? Like, you focus on negativity, not positivity. Mr. Beast is positive. I guess. I mean, I wouldn't use Mr. Beast as like a case study. And I get it. You're saying, well, oh, Cap, you're using Drama Alert as a... Dude, drama just sells. Negativity sells, okay? How much more do you want me to... like, drama just sells, chat. You guys remember when Leafy is here came back to YouTube, chat? Anyone remember that, chat? Like a couple of years ago when Leafy came back to YouTube, which I actually kind of enjoyed that run. Who? Leafy is here. I mean, he's... I'm pretty sure there's like no existence of his channel left. Leafy is here, archive, rip. Yeah, sad. Anyways, when he came back, chat, his entire channel, or a lot of his channel, was about bashing like Pokimane. You know what I mean? Like, why wasn't he like, well, that's not his channel. All his two channels have both been like banned. Well, no. He came back to the original channel. But like, you know, his videos are about making fun of like Pokimane and stuff. You know, he wasn't like, hey, I'm going to be nice to her. Like, dude, making fun of people, drama, that sells, chat. You know what I mean? So, if I could do the best sets of all time, and I could do the worst sets, like, I feel like the worst sets might do better. So...
No, not the art itself. Rather, the people behind the awesome design.
I want to see if he gets the artist I don't know.
Don't get the credit they deserve.
Let's see.
After all, in Yu-Gi-Oh, there are thousands upon thousands of cards created in seemingly perpetuity. It's like every day a new card's announced.
True.
And many of the cards look visually distinct from one another, from Necros to Gusto to Lightsworn to Volcanic, all the colors of the rainbow. Even in the Stone Age, where the art had a more Magic the Gathering, goes to Egypt, and gets sent to hell theme, we still had a variety of differences in design. Spirit of the Pharaoh, Injection Fairy Lily, and Moki Moki as art that are way different from one another. A lot of the old card art we can attribute to the Yu-Gi-Oh creator, Kazuki Takahashi.
Just Takahashi.
Many cards released stemmed from the source material. Many I'm sure we're already super familiar with from the anime. Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Toon World, just to name a few. I could name these forever. Summon Skull, Red Eyes Black Dragon, Dark Magician Girl,
God cards.
Stuff. Some were from earlier in the manga, pre-Duel's Kingdom arc, like with Zombyra the Dark and Dark Master Zork, and there were even card games pre-Duel's Kingdom 2, like we saw with Kingdom arc, like with Zombyra the Dark and...
Have y'all ever heard Zombyra? Am I mispronouncing? I thought it was Zombra. Zombra the Dark? I've never heard Zombyra. I have the... That's how you pronounce that card? Zombyra? No. I'm not talking about the... I've never heard people say Zombyra. I've always said Zombria. Zombria the Dark. Bro, I've never heard that pronunciation ever. He's wrong. Yeah, that's what I think. I think he's wrong. I've never heard a person in my life say Zambira the Dark. It's Zambra. That's why, well, it's not literally a zombie, but in the OCG it says zombie on it. So zombie. Zambria the Dark. I say Zambria. I've never heard that.
And Dark Master Zork, and there were even card games pre-Duelist Kingdom 2, like we saw with Dark Magician and Summon Skull. Takahashi would have a hand in creating a lot of the early designs for the card game itself, but also in shaping future series 2, as he was the mind behind creating the big important cards such as the Elemental Heroes, Stardust Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, and Utopia. Some of the existing art he wouldn't leave stagnant either, as in the Anniversary Pack and beyond, certain cards would get alternate art, as we've seen with, but not limited to, Gyaku Tenugami, Jinzo, and Dark Magician Girl. I always really liked these designs. This would extend to original art that featured his unique art style, many of which would have yet to see a TCG release. Come on, Konami, give us something.
Magi Magician Girl,
True Exodia, Magi Magician Girl, Shiba Warrior Taro, Palladium Oracle Mana, and Red Eye's alternative Black Dragon. Yeah, he's really into that alt music for some reason. I don't know what's going on with him. It's not a phase, Mom. It's not a phase. While Takahashi's art has remained nothing short of incredible, it's just so unique. I love it. The art of the cards did not stop with his work. With Yu-Gi-Oh! As a series, there are so many cards from it that can be adapted into the card game.
Relinquish, Gate
While
Guardian.
some would take some time to arrive in playable form like Evolution or Flying Elephant, the game had to create new cards practically right away. And come on, when's the Living Arrow? I want to fuse that Mammoth Graveyard into Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon to rot it from the inside out. This leads me to my next point. In other popular TCGs like Pokemon and Magic, each card will point. In other popular TCGs...
Oh, I didn't know that, chat. It's right. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's right there. Ken Sugimori. Yes, it's right. It's right there on the bottom of the screen. Wow. I have hundreds of Pokemon cards. I've never actually noticed that.
Like Pokemon and Magic, each card will feature a line of text that tells people who did the illustration.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Charizard, for example, was drawn by Matsuhiro Arita, and Black Lotus, Christopher Rush. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Has never attempted this aside from the aforementioned Takahashi cards, including his signature on them. This has always, at least to me, maybe different from you, been an unfortunate aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! In no art book or companion piece does Konami ever specify who drew what, aside from known Takahashi work. And quite frankly, it's a little sad we may never know who drew up Extra Ceratops. He's so silly looking. All we never know who drew up.
I've never seen this card before. Extra Ceratops. I never seen this. Is it a real card? I never seen this card. It's like a kid taking a picture as a Triceratops. Where that? Yeah, I've never seen this card before. I don't know. It's not often, chat, that I see an art. I'm like, I've never seen that. I mean, it must be real because it says when a card in the extra monster zone is destroyed. Yeah, it looks like a real card. It's from Savage Strike.
Extra Ceratops. He's so silly looking. For all we know, these were duels from a sweatshop. Many names go straight to the grave, either due to Konami's internal rulings or Japanese culture.
Aww.
Though this is not to say that
you can tell who did this. This is I don't know this for a fact, chat. I would almost certainly guess this is the Charmer lady. Cause like, doesn't this card kind of look charmery, chat? Trans girl better. Okay. Yeah, this I would just guess that this is done by the same lady who does the Charmers and, you know, Droll and Lopper and Ghost Ogre and stuff like that. It looks like her art.
That have contributed. We actually know a few, so let's discuss them. And the Jandra Zone is not my full-time job, so any support goes a long way, whether it's commenting on the video, liking or subscribing, sharing the video out to someone who, you know, may enjoy it, or joining my Patreon for as little as $2 a month to get early access to videos and special updates.
Yeah, Chad, join the Patreon.
Let's all help the zone be as big as it can be. Otherwise, I'll be forced to work in the Mystic Mine. Oh no. One artist, Akina Fujiwara, has designed a number of cards, with their most notable being the Traptrix, Charmer, and Gishki archetypes.
Gishki too.
Some of her other designs include Droll and Lockbird, Vanilla, Downer Magician, and Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. She even posts a lot of her art on Twitter, and here's some of her art from Ghost Ogre outside of the card game. Akira Ito is credited for writing and drawing the spin-off manga Yu-Gi-Oh! R. So it's safe to assume that any new cards introduced in the series were designed by Ito. Puppet King, Whitehorn Dragon, the Wicked Avatar, and Dreadsight.
Yeah, she put, that's how I found her on Pixiv.
Naoyuki Kageyama, in similar fashion, is the author of the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX manga. As such, the original creations were that of Kageyama, in which I'm sure you've seen at least one or two of these. Light and Darkness Dragon, Elemental Hero, Absolute Zero, Tragodia, and the Solar System cards. Kageyama has even mentioned in the manga itself that he was saddened to find out that his creations in Light End Dragon and Dark End Dragon were both going to be released as synchro monsters. This sucks for him, given that he was a fusion diehard and vowed to never use synchros despite his peers playing these really new, very powerful strategies.
I didn't know that.
We also know that the digital artist Genzo Man, and yes, that's Genzo Man because it's...
I've heard of him too. Hold on. What did he make? Shoot, I can't remember what he made, but I've heard of this guy. Yeah, I've heard of this guy.
Responsible for the art
behind Burning Abyss. Did he make Burning Abyss?
Various archetypes like Cosmo, Subterror.
Oh, okay, yeah, this guy. I think he's he makes the TCG archetypes. He is Spanish, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, his artwork is like nice, chat. Like Cosmo looks really good. Cosmo, Infernoble, or Noble Knight. I didn't know he did Warrock.
When you look at his other art, it becomes rather clear. I wouldn't be surprised if more artists outside Japan contribute to TCG exclusive archetypes. In that regard, I would also not be shocked if they had to sign an NDA or something along those lines.
Yeah, they do.
Seemingly, Konami would
actually
keep
yeah, chat. I'm like 99% certain that they do sign NDAs, because if you the girl Fujiwara, the one who does like the Charmers and Droll and stuff like that, if you go to her Pixiv or if you go to her Twitter, she posts tons of art, but she does not post Yu-Gi-Oh cards, chat. There's no post of like Droll and Lockbird or anything like that of like, well, I did this card and Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, it's just her other characters that are not associated with Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, you won't find them posting like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and fan art of that.
Everything under the Yu-Gi-Oh! Takahashi umbrella like it's a Kojima game, which, funnily enough, is another chapter in Konami's books. Maybe they feel that since they own the property, they don't need to credit the artist. We could speculate all day, but we'll probably never know the real reason. But we do know one element that may be of value. Historically speaking, Konami has been they've been a heavily criticized company for their treatment of employees and ex-employees. All this has been documented, but this includes such treatments including the prevention of health insurance, making it tough for former employees to find new employment, and even stopping them from mentioning their work on resumes. Then Konami would go after people legally if they would be interviewed by the media. Whoa. Therefore, many would prefer to simply remain anonymous and avoid the strictness Konami implements. According to a Reddit user who had a discussion with a Japanese artist, they claimed that in their contract, they were forbidden to post their art or mention it anywhere.
Yeah. This is true, chat. Because again, if you go look at any of her accounts, chat, and she has an official Twitter account that has tons of her art on it, there is not a trace of any of the Yu-Gi-Oh designs. It's like if you didn't know that she did Yu-Gi-Oh, you wouldn't know. Yeah, they don't post any of their Yu-Gi-Oh stuff online. They just post their other stuff. Konami forbids the artists in their contract to upload the art to their personal websites, or even mention that they worked in the cards. Reasons are not given, but it is the first thing they must agree on when signing the deal. Wow. They must prove that 100% of the drawing is original. Dude, what a shitty company to work for, chat. Seriously. I mean, I know they don't work for them, but like, what a shitty company to work with. Like, I really hope, chat, that Konami pays extremely well. Do they get paid royalties? Well, how would that work, Atenza? Because, like, usually, are you saying, like, every time Konami prints the card, they get paid a fee or something? Because, like, usually royalties work for, like, every time it's something used, right? Like, every time a song is played on the radio, the artist gets a little piece. You know, every time a TV show replays an episode, you know, the people who worked on it, you know, get royalties. Well, they didn't used to, but now they do, I think.
And when submitting the...
I'm gonna guess the answer is no, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna guess the answer is honestly no. Konami is like legal Yakuza.
The art, they must prove the art is 100% theirs with every single texture involved. Some people even believe there to be drama with the artists of Elemental Hero Air Neos.
True.
That being the reason the card has never been reprinted. All of this sums it down to, I don't think Konami is going to change their philosophy anytime soon. At the end of the day, it is unfortunate as Konami is trying to add more and more to a card to avoid crediting an artist. That's a joke, but you get what I mean. So many cards, yet so little credits, lead to many asking the same question over and over.
I'm trying
and
to think
over
if he missed
again.
someone though, chat.
Consider that we only know like 5 artists, and 3 of them were authors of a Yu-Gi-Oh manga.
Is there one that he missed? Because, yeah, you know the Charmer Girl, you know the guy who does Cosmo and War Rock. I thought there was like one more. Or am I off? I thought there was like one more Yu-Gi-Oh artist. Because there's a Reddit thread about this. And I forget if I like favorited it, but I think there was like a Reddit thread on this. And people mention the, what's it called? The Ash art? You mean Ash Blossom? I don't think so. Because the thing is, like, usually the person who makes an art, Ray to us, usually the person who makes, it's not just like one card, but it's like the Fujiwara girl. It's like a series of cards. Like, she does all the Charmers. She does all the Ice Barrier cards. She does all the Gishki cards. You know what I mean? Or the guy who does the Spanish dude. He does all the War Rocks. He does all the Noble Knights. He did all the Cosmos. Like, you don't usually just get like one individual card. You get like an entire archetype where you do all the illustrations of that. And usually Konami will get you, they'll like hire you again.
So unless the company goes under at some point and
that's how you become known, at
out
least.
of their respective caves, you'll never know the extent of who believed in the art of the cards that gave us some of our favorite pieces of art there is. Cards like Horus the Black Flame Dragon, The Creator, Ronin Toden, and Kika Nagashi Fucko.
Fujo.
Fucking bird.
I'm trying to think. Hold on. Oh, here's like an interesting one, chat. Like here's an interesting archetype that would like I'd want to know is, because I think this archetype looks really good. Chat, Gold Pride? Like, bro, Gold Pride looks really good, chat. Just like from an aesthetic standpoint, like I'd want to know who designed like Gold Pride, because you guys, I love Captain Carey. You know what I mean? Like, I'd want to know like who designed the Gold Pride cards, or probably Mutant as well, because I'm trying to think of like the TCG archetypes. Like, Mutant has a very interesting design as well, chat. Like, I'd like to know like this card especially, Mutant Ultimus. You know what I mean? Like, Mutant looks really cool as an archetype. May not be very good, but the cards look cool. So I want to know, like, okay, who designed these? You know? Yeah, it's rumored that Billy Break designed Gold Pride. Yeah, it's rumored that Billy Break designed. He probably did make Gold Pride. You know what I mean? But like, he sure as hell didn't draw Gold Pride.